listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to Upptalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say Upptalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
Today, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly build a few visualizations. I just wanted to show you how simple it is to build a visualization. Of course, we'll go through the difficult part as we progress along the lessons. But take a look at the visuals. Let's say now I want to build a quick pie chart. Now you see this pie chart. In here you have a focus mode. Or you can just click and you can go to focus mode. On the focus mode, you have various legends. I'm not on the focus mode on the visualization that you have selected. In the visualization panel for that particular visualization, you'll see a couple of legends coming up. These legends that you see here, legend values, details, tooltips. In similar fashion, you'll see it in other visualizations. These are called the axes. That's why you plug the value and distribute it. Legend is basically nothing much but the category. You'll see values in almost all the visualization. There is very few. Visualization does not have values at all. We'll even be witnessing those visuals which does not comes with values, but it comes with some other names. Basically, a values is something that will be aggregating. Legend is the category by which we'll be distributing that value. To give you quick and clear, crisp explanation to this, let me just expand the data. Let's say I just plug in this revenue and dump it to that. I can do it in two ways. I can drag and drop it to the values. Or else I can simply click on that and power B. I automatically identifies where to post the value. It gives you the best solution and best plotting of the axis. But if you're not satisfied, then you can choose to move around. The instance of which will come in a moment as to which cases are such where you would not like to go with what Power BI suggests. But for now, I have clicked on revenue and it gives me the data. The sum of revenue can actually double. Click and rename it to just keep it as revenue. In the legend, I like to distribute this by gender. You'll see, it's a division that comes up. There are a couple of things, probably. I like to improve the font size of this visualization. I can go to this format your visual on the top. In the visual panel, you have something called format your visuals. Click on that and you can start formatting your visuals. The idea is basically to give some good colors to both the genders. Let's say female I give some bright pink and male I give some maroon color. This one thing. Detail labels. You can choose to keep it outside or inside or prefer outside. These are pretty non-technical stuff. You can feel free to explore these. This does not require some coding. Explore the format. I'll give you all the best possible arrangement, but these are good. You can also set what kind of labels you'd prefer. Then you have the values in here. In the values, if you see, you can give a background to your values. Now, since the values are not inside, that's the reason the backgrounds are not populating. What you can keep the background auto display unit. Let's just keep it in millions, which is good. You can give 2 decimal values to this. That makes it more clear because if you just keep it to 0, decimal is saying that it is 2 million. I'd like to keep it 2 decimal and gives you a more clear picture of the values that you see. For our presentation, I'm going to keep it as 0. In fact, I can actually increase the font size as well to some extent. That's visible. If you want, you can make it bold. These are few features that you can actually avoid easily grab. Magic Arena, if you don't like the pie chart and you think that it's ancient, you can do a couple of things more to this visualization, and I can actually quickly switch this. You have a donut chart just next to the pie chart. On the visualization panel, you have the donut chart. Click on this donut chart and see that it now switches to a donut. I want to click to a bar chart. It switches to a bar chart. It does the job and without you having to redevelop everything from the scratch. It saves a lot of time. The title almost auto titles. But if you want to customize the title, then you can go to the format, the general panel, and on the title you can update the title. But I'm at this point good with the title that Power BI. This is one thing in here. A couple of more things that I would like to do. Here is maybe this legend that you see here. I like to bring it down and keep it in the center. It gives more space. Let's say I go to the legend. It's currently center right and I keep it bottom center. See, now we use a better picture and better representation. Now it does not even occupy that much space, but this is good. All the forms and everything is possible. One thing maybe I'd like to do is just like to go to the title and centralize this. Let's give it a background color, text color, and also give a border to this. You have something called effects. You can define a background. I'd like to just define a border. There you go. That's your first visual. Quite easy to plot, isn't it? Moving on to the next visualization. One thing that I want to explore is maybe a bar chart. The bar charts are really a good way to represent data, and it gives you a lot of dynamic capabilities. Now, if you look into this visualization, you have all the bar chart. I'm going to start with the clustered column and we're going to explore all the bar charts. For now, this is a bar chart that got established in here. Oops, not stream. Let's just expand this. Perfect. Now this bar chart that I'm going to explore here. Let me start by bringing in Now look at the axis of a bar chart. Bar chart axis. If I go to a focus mode, you'll see that it's not mandatory that you go to a focus mode to check the axis, but I always feel it comfortable. I can focus and work on that particular visualization. But if you look at the axis, it does not have a value axis. There's one of the many visualizations that does not have a value axis. But the way these axes are distributed. Now, actually, what am I using? I'm using the clustered column chart. It means my x-axis. Here will be category, the y-axis will be the value. If you're using a clustered bar chart, it means your y-axis becomes the category and x-axis becomes the value. Here, let's say I plug in the revenue. You see it automatically falls in the v-axis over here. That's why you're distributing the value. That's the revenue. I want to distribute this revenue by, let's say, the store location. You see, automatically it plots the store location in the x-axis. Now, if you actually switch this to a clustered bar chart, you'll see that the axis gets switched. But the good part is they have kept the confusion to minimal. They made sure that AI axis remains on the top, which makes it the category axis, and the x-axis remains in the bottom, which is the value axis in our case. The category remains in the top. The value remains in the bottom. Now there's more to this. It's not only just that I'm plotting this visualization. Here comes the beautiful game's powerful features that Power BI provides. Let me start by turning on the data labels in the properties of this vision, formatting the visual. I go to data labels. From here, I can start plugging in more detail to this. Let's say I plug in the gender. I bring in the gender in order to see the values here. I can split this value. Now, if you don't want to plug in the legend specifically, you can also drop in the y-axis multiple scale. For example, if I just bring in my customer ID here, simply click it, and it will be probably dropping itself in legend, which I don't want because a lot of customers, we have 754 customers. Obviously, this is how it's going to show up. But if I just drag it and drop it to y-axis, and if I just count the customer ID right, you'll see side by side. It gives you a legend that tells what number of customer is contributing to this much revenue support. Let me just try giving the complete number in the data labels to the value. Let's, for a moment, keep it as none. Do you see? You get to see the customer numbers. But of course, the magnitude of the scalars, one is in million and the other one is in few hundred. That's the reason it's not a right fit. That's the reason, and I'd like to probably get rid of this customer count for now. Keep the values as auto. I would like to plug in the gender. Now in the gender, you can do a lot of things. You can actually keep it like this, distribute it like this. Once you distribute using a trellis visualization, you can also say that you want to see the total revenue at all times. You have option for total labels. These are only in these distribution, these kind of function. You can turn on the total labels and you can always see the total labels. Display unit is set to auto, but you can give it to 2 decimals. There you go. If you go to other visuals, this is how it looks. You can go to trellis. Trellis is like the same version of pie chart, but with an additional access where it distributes the data by store location. Keep a 100% stack bar chart. I guess this is a column chart and that's the distribution. These are some beautiful distribution that Power BI comes up with. Now one more interesting thing that you'll see with Power BI is you don't have to format these visuals. You don't have to reformat, and of course you can do that by going to the legend. I guess in the column you can choose the colors. But that's a lot of more doneness work. A lot of format that we did in here. We can pass this format simply to other visualization, just the way we pass formats in Excel and Microsoft Word and PowerPoint. You select the visualization, click on the Format Painter and plug it here. You see it transfers the visualization. Probably you'll have to just look into the labels for once and then click it. You can click on the labels and turn on the background for it that it's nice and easily visible. Let's just go to the I see here you can turn on the background and there you go. You get the background everywhere. You can specify where you want to turn on the background, how much transparency you want. Everything can be specified. You keep the position as vertical if you want. These are non-technical stuff. Explore and you'll get to see a lot of options that Power BI has. But that's not the end. This is one way of dealing the data. Now let me just kill this legend for a moment. Let's turn off the background. You can reset to default. Then turn on the data labels. There you go. Now, what I wanted to do here is look at the way these visualizations are arranged. It's arranged from the highest revenue holder. Now, if you actually hover, you'll get to see that Boston is slightly higher as compared to New York. You see, 234. There's a slight difference in the value, and that's the reason Boston is ranked 1. Now you can actually arrange this in a descending fashion, with lowest in the first and then highest in the second. Or else what you can also do is over here. These values are arranged by revenue. At this point, you see you click on the top 3 dots and change it to store location and alphabetically arranges the data. Now, that's also a good arrangement. Now, when do these comes to play? When you are trying to distribute this by colors. Look at this. Let's say I go to the column. Now, this does not happen if you park a legend. This only happens when the legend is empty. I go to the data labels. Not in the data labels. My bad in the columns. You get to condition your data. Sum of revenue. And let's say I want to add a middle section here. Lowest value. I'll give it red. Mid-section, I'll give it blackish. Highest section, I'll give it a golden color. It actually helps us identify our sweet spot. Now, if you see one that is a darker shade of yellow is kind of something more than the median value. The legend has populated in the bottom right. And the legend says the highest and the lowest value that it has observed and the median value. And the one that is in the blackish yellow, it means that it's slightly over the revenue. And it gives me the sweet spot, the area where I want to focus, and the area that has outperformed. Right. Even though these are not arranged, it gives you a good arrangement to have a look at. But that's not the end, There are more to this. You have, small multiples. You have legend in here that we legend. We have already seen we have small multiples. But before I go to small multiple, let's say what are these small multiples? Let's say I just drag this gender to the small multiple instead of legend. Look at what happens. See, it distributes the data. That's what it does with the small multiple. It helps you and allows you to distribute the data and analyze it further. Now we'll see more of the small multiples also in line charts and area chart. That's where you know it exists. That's where also it exists. That's what I would like to put it as. One more thing that you can do here is you can split this by certain aspect. Let's say you can split it by gender. You give an axis here and you multiply that axis. Do you see? Boston female, Los Angeles, New York female, Seattle female. Right? I can actually top this up or drill this up. And let's say you click on this, turn on drill down, click on Boston. It shows you the male to female revenue for Boston. You see the category is also given. You can focus on a particular element just by clicking on this drill down. Drill mode is on. If you turn this off and you just click on this, go to the next level in the hierarchy. There are new icons that has appeared once you start populating multiple x-axis or multiple category axis. These 4 icons are really powerful. Now I turned on the drill down and turned it off back. Now let's go to the next level in the hierarchy. If you just simply click on this, it simply switches the axis. This is now no more focused to a particular category, just focuses on one visualization. And if you click and expand all down one level in the hierarchy, you get back to that original visualization that it was previously shown. That's the analysis that we are capable of. Now you can also plug in further detail. Let's say I have this date join in here. Now the date join allows me to grab some date hierarchy. You can easily drag the year and the month in your data. Let's say just drag the year and also drag the month. You'll see, this is how your data distributes. It automatically does the job. And drill up, turn on the drill down. Then focus on a particular visualization. Let's say I want to focus on how the sales went forward the lowest performance store, which is Seattle, which is 126 million revenue. Click on Seattle. You get to see how each year they have performed. You can further go inside maybe, let's say go inside 2012, the lowest performing year, and see how each month you have performed that. Very powerful functions. Turn off this. You can directly go to you can switch the access from store location to year. and you can also switch it to months. But months may be a bit misleading. Why? I would say it's misleading because now you don't have, for example, you see the January. You don't know for which year January we are actually talking about. If you want to focus on month and then further distribute, you can turn on the drill down from here. And let's say I go to 2010 and then I can go to the month for 2010. You can go to the month for 2010 and 2010 July, August, September, October. We have only 2 quarter data, right? Similar fashion in 2011, you have all the months because you operated for the 12 months. I click on 2012, you get to see 2012. That's the beauty. And now you can, at any point of time, start drilling down. If you switch the axis further and just click on expand to all down in the hierarchy, this is how way you get to see. But if I just click it once more, it becomes really busy, and I would like to avoid these circumstances. For that simple reason, I'm just gonna cross out the month. Just gonna step 2. I'm gonna just stick to year visualization. You see how powerful these visualizations are, capable of feeding multiple data in one single piece. One last thing that I would like to do is probably just clean up this visualization a bit. You see, here we've got revenue, got store location right. I'm just gonna quickly say I'll go to x-axis. I'll start this visuals. Y-axis and y-axis. Just maybe turn off the title and turn off the entire y-axis. I don't need them. And this is again my one more visualization in place. Alright, let's just quickly, build one more last visualization. This will be again simple. It's like something similar to what we just saw in the pie chart, and we consist some of these features that we have in the bar chart. This is called a funnel chart. A funnel chart is just like a pie chart, alright? If you look at the axis of a funnel chart, it's just like a pie chart, but it allows you to pass multiple categories just like the bar chart. For example, if I click on gender, the revenue. Let's not click on the revenue. The revenue is becoming a little monotonous. Let's click on customer ID. It's falling in the category. Let me drag it to the value and I'm gonna count it. And I do a count or a distinct count since we have unique customer ID. It's not gonna change the record. We have 754 customers. You count it or you do a distinct count of it. It's gonna be one and the same. I'm gonna name this as footfalls. And I'm gonna distribute this by gender. And I'm gonna add one more category to this, which is store location. Which means if I just turn on the drill down and just click on maybe the female segment, you get to see the further distribution as to how many customers we have in each store. That's funnel chart. You can add, colors, but I would say that rather bring in the format that we have here, a revenue by store location format. Pass the formatting here. I will see that the format is slightly weird because if you see, our bottom line is Wonder Told. That's red. Good, but why is Seattle having a red mark? Because it's on the top 2 sections. It should be something a different color. Let's go to the format. And let's go to the colors. Let's look into this condition. In the condition, you'll see when we pass the format, you know it's actually did the coloring on the sum of the revenue, but I would like to rather do it on customer. I do like do a distinct count or account. It's not gonna make any difference. And now you see, you know it's actually giving me a right. Now there are a couple of more interesting things that a funnel chart has. If you hover on the data, you get to see that the first one is actually kept as 100%. Every value that you see in the first is parked as 100%. Alright? Every value, the highest value is declared as 100%. Now, if you look at the bottom value, it's nothing much. This 86% is nothing much, but it's 112 divided by 129, which is 86.8. Even if you hover, you'll get to see percentage of the first, which means 120 divided by percentage of the first is 129, which is 86.82%. And that's what it's reflected in. You also get to see the percentage of the previous. It is 122 divided by 150. And then it's 150 divided by 121 as the percentage of the previous. Percentage of the first 150 is 115 divided by 121. But if you look at 121, it will show you both the percentage of the first and the previous as the same value, because percentage of the first and the previous both are the denominators, the same value. That's the significance of these 100% and 86.8% and the rest of the legend, that rest of the tooltip that it populates. The idea is that this is like a normalized percentage that shows you the performance of the store location. You can go up, drill down on the meal segment, and you get to see the values over there as well. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.